Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with number 110 in the series Viewers Games. It is the turn of Hardik from India. And Hardik says, please do analyze the following game. This was played on the 23rd of November 2018 between me and Yash in an E4 FIDE rating chess tournament held in Baroda city in India. At that time we both were unrated players. Currently I have a FIDE rating of 1064. So it's an over the board game that we're going to see. Hardik was white, Yash Agrawal was black, and it is not the most exciting game I've ever analyzed for this series. In fact, it's quite a boring game, but there is a big sting in the tail. So please stay with me while we play through this game, because at the end it gets very exciting. Hardik opened with d4, and his opponent played c6, inviting the Caro-Kann, which is on the board after e2, e4, but Hardik played c4. d6, knight f3, queen c7, bishop f4, on the same diagonal as the queen, that can give white tactical possibilities. Bishop f5 developing, knight c3, knight d7, and here I would say, black, if you give me the center, I will take the center, I'll play e4, but Hardik played it a bit more cautiously with e3, preparing to develop the king's bishop. And now black does take the center with e5. Hardik immediately releases the tension, takes on e5, knight takes, d takes, attacking the bishop, bishop back to g3, and bishop d6 developing. Hardik develops his bishop, prepares to castle, and another piece was traded. Knight f6, and now both kings are going to the corner. Knight e4 from Hardik, and more material is swapped. f5, attacking the queen, queen drops back, and rook to the center of the board. h3, making a bit of luft for his king, and also an escape square for the bishop if needed. e4, and more material goes off the board. Rook takes, and now queen b3 from Hardik. Not the best move, a move like rook fd1, not very spectacular, but just fighting for the d-file, and the position is equal. Queen b3 is not the best. It puts the queen on the same diagonal as the king, so that maybe gives white some tactical possibilities, but in this case black had a good reply with rook d3, with a tempo on the queen, and then preparing to bring the other rook to d8, and then black will control the d-file. Slightly better for black. Also rook fd8 is possible straight away, there is no tactical problem with that move. c5 check, does it win a rook? It attacks a rook and it's check. Does black lose a rook? No. Rook d5 solves both problems in one move. It seals the check and it saves the rook. And after rook ad1, king f8, the position is about equal. But after queen b3, black decided not to play rook d3 and not rook fd8. He played king h8, taking the king away from that possible discover check. That gives white a chance to fight for the d-file, rook ad1, rook fd8, and the rooks were swapped. Not much is happening. Rook d1 from white, protected by the queen, and are we going into a queen endgame? That would be logical after rook takes d1 check, queen takes, and king back to g8, and this position is symmetrical and equal and will most likely finish in a draw. But here comes the sting in the tail that I promised. Black played the inexplicable rook d6 to f6. What is that move about? Giving up the d-file, putting the rook on a very passive square. As Hardik says, as far as the game is concerned, it was a dead draw. But after rook f6 from black, I had managed to find a beautiful idea to win this game. And he did indeed. You may want to put the video on pause and look for it yourself. Can you find white's shot that decides this game on the spot? Hardik found it and he played a beautiful move. Queen takes b7, For an unrated player, that is quite an achievement to find this tactic. And it works in all variations, and it's not only that white wins a pawn, he in fact wins the queen, as we'll see when we look at the variations. Let's first look at the simplest one. What if we just take the queen? Did white blunder his queen? No, he didn't, because there is a back rank problem for black. Mate in 2. This is checkmate. So we cannot take the queen, and our own queen is attacked and is not defended. So let's look at some variations. How can black make sure he doesn't lose on the spot and can play on a pawn down? Can he play something like queen a5, saving the queen? No, because then he also gets checkmated. Queen c8 check, for example, you have to interpose and everything gets taken. And this is checkmate. Okay, so what else? Can we protect the queen? Can we play rook f7 to protect the black queen? That doesn't work either. We have another checkmate. That back rank is so terribly weak. It all leads to checkmate. One last try. If we play queen f7, does that help? The queen is protected there. Then simply swapping the queens. And again, that same checkmate pattern on the back rank. So after queen takes b7, it's not only a pawn. In fact, black loses his queen to avoid checkmate. That doesn't happen too often. We have seen many back rank combinations where a piece cannot be taken because it's checkmate, but that you actually lose your queen because of this back rank problem after having lost a pawn is quite unusual. Black played h5, giving the king a square on h7, but there goes the queen. And black could have resigned here, but played on. Let's see the last moves of the game. King h7. Hardek took another pawn. Rook back. Rook d7 on the 7th rank. Rook g8 to protect the g7 square. It doesn't really matter. Rook f7 was played. King g6. Rook c7. White is now going to swap his queen and rook around to deliver checkmate. King h7. He took a pawn. King h8. Queen f7, g6 and rook c7, swapping the queen and rook, and there's nothing to do against queen h7. Checkmate. Black resigned and Hardek had won a game in 30 moves. As I said, not the most exciting game I've ever seen, but a very nice back rank motif, which did not cost only a pawn for black, but in fact he was losing his queen by force. Quite amazing. Nice game, Hardek, well played. And it's good that you now have an official rating and keep us up to date on your further progress in our beautiful game. And it is Sunday, so we're going to make a new move in our game, Rick against a chess to impress viewers. We've reached move 16. Let's put all the moves on the board and then stop where you play your 16th move. I played 16, a4, a5. And what did you come up with? Only 14 votes this week. Hopefully we get some more next week. 16, b7, b6 got 4 votes and is the winner. b7, b5 was voted for 3 times. Knight e5 3 times. Knight back to h7 twice. g5 once and rook b8 also once. There was a nice discussion going on between some viewers about why knight h7 was a good move. A nice discussion between Jack Rearroom, Funny Animator Jim TV, Terra K and Raven Toe. This is what I was hoping when I started this game, that there would be some discussion between viewers about which move to make and why. So it's nice to see that. But knight f6 to h7 did not make it. b7, b6 is your move. It had the most votes. And I thought about this position for a while. I do not really want your pawn to go to b5, so I'm going to take it. A takes, b6 is my move, and I think your 17th move is not that complicated. You may want to take that pawn, but maybe you don't. Maybe you want to play something else and take the pawn later. So please submit your 17th move in the comment section underneath this video, and by doing so you will be in a raffle. At the end of the game I will raffle a chess book which was made available by my sponsor, The Beste Zet. You can see it there in the top left hand side of the screen. It's a web shop for chess books. So please submit your move. What would you play in this position? I hope you will take part in our game. And I hope you enjoyed this video, Hardek's tactic in the endgame. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel and please leave a comment. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter and also on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.